I'm going to share with you a shocking story about Rabbi Akivah. It's a very scary story. The Gemara says in Nedarim, Daf Nun Amud Beis, a story that the wife of Turnusrufus, who was the governor in Israel when the Romans were trying to conquer Eretz Israel, she saw her husband very sad one day, and he explained that he debates with Rabbi Akivah, and Rabbi Akivah always humbles him and shows how ridiculous he is, and he was really upset, trying to overcome this great sage of Israel. So she, being the prasta person she was, told her husband that Elokei Yisrael sonei zimahem, Hashem hates pretus, and therefore she said, let me tempt him and lure him and seduce him, and then he'll sin, and his God will distance himself from him, and he won't be able to embarrass you in public. So somehow she obviously didn't dress like a nun, but whatever the story is, she went to try to seduce the Heilige Rabbi Akivah. So the Gemara says that Rabbi Akivah spit, he laughed, and Rak Saka Bacha. Rak means he spit, Sachak means he laughed, and then he cried. So she says, what's going on? So he explained, probably not looking in her direction, obviously, that I spit because such a person comes from a tipa srucha. A person is fertilized by the semen of a man. It's just like, it looks like spit. So you spit to show, look what the person comes from. Then he said, he laughed. But he didn't tell her why he laughed. He just said why he cried. He cried because that beauty, that shufra is going to bully ba'afra. It's going to one day be a skeleton in the grave, and it's going to lose all its beauty. So it turns out she asked, is there any hope for me? And he explained that anyone could do tshuva, and somehow she actually became a Baal's tshuva, and later on she marries him. This is mind-boggling. This is hard to believe. But yet, Rabbi Akivah ends up marrying her, and that was actually why he laughed, because he saw in Ruach HaKodesh that one day she'll become a Baal's Tshuva, Giores, and he'll marry her. But I think we see from this shocking story, this unbelievable story, that even the greatest man, no matter how great you are, don't think the Yetzer Hara, the Satan, doesn't have you on his hit list. And let's remember that a Yid, his strength is when he's davik and someone like Rabbi Akivah, Torah. That's why it says if the Yetzer Hara comes to you, mashchel beis medrash, and the schus of clinging to Torah, then Torah magno masla, Torah can save a person from his pitfalls.
Thank you for listening to the Guard Your Eyes Daily Chizuk broadcast. Pass them on to your friends and help spread Kedusha in the world.